Hi friends, this is Nori coming at you from the work and bipolar or depression blog at HealthyPlace. May is Mental Health Awareness Month, so I've got my green ribbon on, and I hope that everyone is taking very good care of themselves during these uncertain times that we are upon. And today I want to talk a little bit about how hypomania can make work hard. Now, there's a common belief that I've read on a lot of mental health websites and heard expressed within, the general mental health community that because bipolar 2 hypomania is not as severe as the full-blown mania that one experiences with bipolar 1, it doesn't affect or has a very small effect on a person's ability to work. And while it certainly does not have the same kind of effect on work as bipolar 1 mania does, in my experience, I've found that hypomania is detrimental to one's work life, and I think that it's misleading to say otherwise. Before my bipolar 2 diagnosis, I had an extremely difficult time finding and keeping work, and a big part of it had to do with my hypomanic episodes. When I'm hypomanic, I get distracted by every little thing that comes along. In fact, before I was diagnosed with bipolar 2, I thought that I had ADHD. I jump into a lot of plans and projects with a whole lot of energy and enthusiasm in the beginning, but inevitably run out of steam and spread myself too thin and ultimately can't follow through on any of it. When I do manage to concentrate on something, it takes up all of my time and attention. I get so focused on what I'm doing that I forget to eat, drink water, use the restroom, and get enough sleep. And I get extremely irritable when something or someone breaks my concentration. I've had to apologize to quite a few loved ones and coworkers for being grumpy when they pull me away from my work. And all of the excess physical and mental energy makes it almost impossible to sit still. I have to really, really be invested in the work that I'm doing in order to actually sit down and pay attention to it for long stretches of time. So team meetings were not fun for me at all. I always had fidget toys handy. Thankfully, ever since I started treatment last year, my symptoms have improved drastically. I'm also very lucky that I'm in a position where I'm able to work from home as part of my regular routine. Being able to set my own schedule and set my own standards has done wonders for my mental health overall, but also actually helping me reduce the number of episodes that I have, and reducing my symptoms as well, and boosting my self-esteem. However, not everyone has the privilege of being able to work from home like I do, and some folks simply, prefer the structure and the social interaction that a more traditional work environment gives them. Now, thanks to COVID-19, a lot of us are working from home whether we want to or not, and we're all trying to adjust to, this ever-shifting new reality that we find ourselves in. And what I would suggest is that if you find yourself struggling with hypomania during your workday, whether you're working at home or if you are an essential employee who has to be out actually in the field, my suggestion is to try to be as proactive as possible about making your work environment as conducive as possible to coping with hypomania. And that can be tricky depending on what kind of environment you're working in, but find a way that is feasible and sustainable for you to make it a conducive environment for coping. When I worked in a cubicle, for example, I made sure to put things inside that made me feel calm and grounded. So I had a couple of little plants, I had my fidget toys, I had a little amethyst geode cluster that I have had since I was 7 years old. Little mementos from family and friends. I even had a blanket in there to just keep on my lap while I was working. And of course, a snack drawer. I was also very vigilant about making sure that I ate breakfast and that I didn't skip lunch, and capping how much caffeine I had during the day. That's a big one if you struggle with elevated moods. Something else that helped was keeping a notebook on hand that I could just use to sort of just jot down ideas as they came to me so that I could go back and look at them later without them taking up all my time and attention. That was really useful as well. If you work a more service industry related job like retail or food or healthcare, obviously, like I said, this can be a little trickier. But my point is that regardless of what kind of work you do, if you're trying to manage hypomania, to come up with some kind of routine or ritual that is calming and grounding and affirmative for you. And as always, remember that it is not just you, not by a long shot. A lot of people are dealing with bipolar in work, and it's hard, especially right now. But it's not impossible, especially if you're sticking to your treatment plan. I hope y'all found this helpful. If you have other experiences or advice you'd like to share about coping with hypomania at work, please feel free to drop a line in the comments. Thank you so much for watching, and I will talk to you soon.